Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphanlast, aka Skylar Madison, and today I'm coming at you with another NobleFrugal Studio collaboration video. And this series is basically where I'm painting out this really cool looking background. Hopefully you guys think it's cool, because I think it's cool. I don't know. And then NobleFrugal Studio, which is a channel on YouTube ran by a guy called Sebastian. He will go ahead and grab a hold of this background, and he'll animate a complex scene while using open tunes. So if that interests you, feel free to take a look at his channel. It's in the video description below. He does teach open tunes, and he also has a really interesting project that he's working on, kind of an episodic sort of cartoon, kind of a yearly release that he's working on, and it's called Castle Dark. So that looks pretty promising. It looks really cool. So yeah, once again, if you guys are interested in taking a look at his channel, a link to his channel is supplied in the video description below. Anyway, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So like actually, kind of as a side note really quick here, there's this channel that I found, I believe on Sunday, and you know, I'm actually kind of confused and blown away at the same time by this guy's channel and his content. It's Peter Draws, okay? Just type that up in Open Tunes. Peter Draws, okay? Now, this is not the Peter Draws collaboration series, so a link will not be supplied in the video description below. But I gotta tell you, this guy is funny, and I don't think he, I don't think he even tries to be. I find his demeanor funny. I think the things that he actually he says that he thinks is funny. I mean, he had one episode where he was doing this weird looking dance, and he kind of it's hard to really even describe. His artwork is kind of like it's abstract. Like to him it's like drawing a bunch of squiggly lines, but what I find is when I look at his finished work, when I look at it I see something, and then when I look at it another time I see something completely different. And it's awesome in that sense. And I could totally picture myself grabbing a hold of one of his images that he's gone ahead and drawn up, and just like using it as a reference image for something that's not even something he drew. So that fascinates me. Like I don't usually appreciate abstract artwork like his, but like he genuinely creates something cool. I mean, it's not like someone just, you know, had an enema full of paint and just kind of had it splat onto a canvas. Like he actually has some quality. And if I were to pinpoint some way to describe his demeanor, it's kind of like a combination between I don't know, a comedian, someone who's, I don't know, like someone who's intelligent and yet kind of like Napoleon Dynamite at the same time. Because I genuinely don't think Napoleon Dynamite is intelligent or funny, but this guy somehow manages to be hilarious and intelligent at the same time. Anyway, so meat and potatoes of the video. Basically, Marevna, on their official blog, they wrote an article about me and how I created a bounty for the Crit-alike assistant tool. They've officially started development for the assistant tool, and they've also announced that a new version of OpenTunes Marevna will be released. Now, I don't have any insider knowledge on when the release date is, and I have absolutely no idea what sort of features that we can expect. But, you know, from what I'm seeing on GitHub, it looks like they have been making some massive improvements on the timeline. The interface, the way you interact with it, the way it looks, it looks phenomenal. And I'm I'm genuinely looking forward to working with it, and maybe it might be in this next version of Marevna. I'm not sure, but if it is, I'm going to be super stoked, whatever that means. But I'd be stoked. So yeah. Then there's something I reported on forever ago on my OpenTunes news videos. It was a project that Marevna was working on where they grabbed some features from Adobe After Effects, and they kind of created this cutout animation that they were manipulating on the screen that in an interesting way. And I'm fascinated with that. Anything that improves the cutout animation workflow on OpenTunes, I'm super excited about. And so that, like, any improvement to cutout animations in OpenTunes is a hearty welcome from me. Like, I am super stoked about it. So, like, and again, I have no idea if that'll actually be in the next version of Marevna or not. It's just something that I'm excited to hopefully see soon. So then, I think about my workflow. Basically, what I do is I create a basic rough animation, and then I create a vector level. And what it seems like I do is I draw out one drawing completely, and then I basically sculpt the shapes from one frame to the next, which gets me kind of thinking, wow, my workflow would be best served with a cutout animation. Like, it really would. And I with what SnapEye has shown me with the envelope distortion and everything like that, which I'm hoping to create a bounty for, I don't know, hopefully within the next 6 months, like that right there, I think would totally fit within my workflow and speed things up quite a bit. Now, I've gotten a complaint about somebody basically saying, hey, yeah, don't be trying, like, focus on making quality and not speed increases and stuff like that. And I understand that statement and everything, but when you get hired, if you are able to produce the same sort of quality faster, then you kind of get the point that I'm going for. I'm not just saying slapstick something together. I'm talking about creating quality while still moving quickly. And yeah, I mean, I don't see anything to argue about there. So, like, next week, I'm sorry, I had a little bit of brain fart there. Next week, there will not be a 51 animation challenge video. What there will be is me working on the collapsible windows for OpenTunes, which will change the graphic user interface for OpenTunes pretty significantly in terms of how you're going to be interacting with it. And basically, if you guys are not familiar with a graphic user interface or what that means, if you are using a mouse and keyboard and you move the mouse around and are clicking on icons, that right there is a graphic user interface. We didn't always interact with computers that way. We used to have what's called a command line. Like, if I don't know if the term DOS sounds familiar to you or not, but basically you would type things like CD space and then type in the name of a file in order to open it. And inside of that file, if there was like 20 other files, you would type in dir or dir/w to see everything inside of that file, which is a command line sort of interface. Fortunately, OpenTunes does not work like that. It has it has a graphic user interface, and so the collapsible windows will kind of change that up quite a bit. So I feel like it needs to have a demonstration. And since that's going to be taking up some of my time, and I'm thinking, well, can I make it into a video? So I asked you guys about that on Twitter. Would you guys want that as a tutorial? Because I feel like, you know, it could be used inside of business presentations. Why just settle with a PowerPoint presentation when you could actually create a really nice little animation? Or you can kind of have both at the same time, a PowerPoint presentation featuring some animations inside of it and everything. Not only could this help you with sales pitches, but if you're an animator looking for work, there are businesses that are totally interested in hiring animators to make little presentations like the one that I'm going to be creating for collapsible windows. So I am going to have a tutorial, maybe a tutorial series of videos where I'm showing how to make a demonstration video with OpenTunes, and hopefully that'll be able to help people out. Hopefully it'll give people a, you know, kind of a step up, a leg up in order to know how to compete in the animation industry and everything like that. Now, since we're talking about the animation industry in general, there's this, you know, I don't understand the bickering among the animation community. I've heard people say, like, there are purists out there that like to say, well, you know, there's the only type of animation is traditional animation. If you're using cutout animation, basically it's just shifting space, shifting shapes around the screen. There is no depth, and there is no immersion in the animation. To be honest, I actually disagree completely with that. For one, traditional animation, where you're drawing out each and every single frame individually, a separate drawing for each frame, that's great. That looks like, it really does look great. But if you're not a very good artist, it'll be a bunch of shifting lines jumbled around on the screen, and it'll look flat. And the same thing is true if you're not a very good artist and you're working with cutout animations. It'll be a bunch of shifting shapes and it'll look flat. There won't be any depth. And so, and as far as drawing each and every single frame on the screen being traditional animation, you know, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But technically speaking, cutout animation and traditional animation have been around just as long as the other. And so, you know, technically speaking, they're both traditional. There's nothing wrong with either one. They're both great. With 2D animation kind of being where it is right now, today, in this day and age, right now, you would think that, you know, the cutout animators and the traditional animators would kind of like band together and be like, okay, let's stick together. Together we are stronger. But no, instead they're arguing which method is better. And I don't really understand that, because like traditional animation to me is like the ancient times. If you wanted to be a fisherman, you needed to have a fishing pole. And cutout animation, with the technological leaps that have been provided with you know, computers and everything, how you're able to morph the mesh around and everything, cutout animation is the equivalent of a net compared to a fishing pole. And there's nothing wrong with cutout animation. Anyways, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. Happy day. And yeah, there's other videos that I've made that's on the screen right now. Feel free to take a look at them. I put a lot of work into these, and sometimes don't even get sleep during the weekends to provide them for you. So